Okay, let's jump straight into this explainer, because today, we are about to completely revolutionize how you tackle quantitative subjects. For years, you've probably been told that math is all about the numbers. Well, actually, scratch that. It's not. It is fundamentally about patterns. And the sad truth is, you've just been looking at the wrong ones. We're going to execute a massive shift in your perspective today and give you a blueprint that makes forgetting practically impossible. Picture this. Two students sit down for the exact same math exam. Student one is the crammer. They are frantically trying to stuff 100 different formulas into their brain like an overpacked suitcase right before a flight. You know the feeling, right? They're burned out, super stressed, and the absolute second they see a problem that looks even slightly different from their textbook, they completely freeze. Why? Because their brain just flushed all that cramming out like junk mail. Now look at student two, the architect. Perfectly calm. They don't have a formula sheet memorized because, honestly, they don't need one. They literally build their answers from scratch using the underlying logic. So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. Struggling with math has absolutely zero to do with your IQ or some magical inherent talent. If you're struggling, you do not have a math brain problem. You have a strategy problem. It's like you're trying to build this massive skyscraper on a foundation of loose sand. No amount of hard work is ever going to fix a fundamentally flawed strategy. Which brings us to a pretty direct question. Why are you still cramming? We need to execute a massive speed transition right now, moving you away from methods that waste like 80% of your study time and just flush information down the drain. Instead, we're going to focus on how insanely fast your brain can actually work when it's connecting ideas the right way. Enter our core solution, the architect's blueprint. This is a real game changer. It's a logic mapping system built heavily on first principles thinking. Refined by elite students, this method totally shifts your focus away from rote memorization and allows you to logically derive any formula from scratch. When you actually understand the foundational logic of a formula, forgetting it is basically impossible because your brain can seamlessly rebuild it on demand. But hold on, before we lay a single mental brick, you've got to adopt what Zen Buddhism calls the empty cup mindset. It goes like this. I'm not here to prove I'm smart. I'm here to discover what I don't know yet. Most of us approach math with a cup that's already completely full of the ego of wanting to be instantly right or full of that paralyzing fear of looking stupid. And that pressure, that is exactly what leads to academic burnout. By making this tiny mental shift, you filter out the noise and instantly flip your brain into peak performance mode. All right, let's get into Foundation 1, visual anchors and grid recall. So instead of staring at abstract strings of text, you have to realize your brain is literally wired to remember images. Think about places like Japan and China. Visual character learning is standard there. Students learn to see the story in every single character. You need to do the exact same thing for math by drawing a visual anchor to grasp the why behind the numbers. Like if you're learning the Pythagorean theorem, don't just memorize random letters. Literally draw a triangle where squares are actually building off the sides. This visual logic makes the memory like 10 times stickier than plain text. Moving right along, we have Foundation 2, chain learning. This technique is brilliantly simple, and this is where our speed transitions really shine. Step 1, you learn a math concept, let's say rates of change. Step 2, you immediately execute a mental speed transition over to physics. Picture the acceleration of a car. Step 3, boom, another rapid transition right into biology, thinking about the reaction speed of a human nerve. By forcing your brain to rapidly jump across these different disciplines, you weave one math concept into a giant interconnected mental web. Every topic rapidly reinforces the next, and you start thinking like a true scientist. 10%. Just 10%. That is the pathetic retention rate you get when you just reread a formula over and over again, hoping it eventually clicks. It is a massive waste of your time and a guaranteed one-way ticket to frustration. So to obliterate that 10%, we bring in the stress test, the 5-by writing rule. This is all about translating a concept through specific modes to build a massive neural network. Step 1, write the raw formula. Step 2, execute a rapid transition and draw it as a diagram, using that visual anchor we just talked about. Step 3, instantly transition that into a story or a metaphor. And step 4, explain the whole shebang in your own words. By demanding your brain execute these speed transitions across completely different ways of thinking, you build mastery through actual mental motion. You're not just passively memorizing, you are actively mastering. Finally, we reach achieving bulletproof mastery. We call this the Sensei Teach Back. At the very end of your study session, you have to perform forced retrieval.
You need to literally explain the logic out loud to a blank wall, your cat, or your phone camera. Explain it like you're talking to a 10-year-old. If you stumble and can't explain it simply, well, that means your understanding of the blueprint is flawed. This forced retrieval is a heavy lifting workout for your brain, rapidly turning passive reading into absolutely bulletproof mastery.
Look, math is not about being some born genius. It is entirely about your system. So empty your cup. Which of these rapid-fire blueprint steps are you going to try tonight? Are you going to start with visual anchors, mental chain learning, or maybe the sensei teach back? Are you going to keep building your knowledge on loose sand? Or are you finally ready to think like an architect?